year ago, it's a little bit less. So I'm going to go ahead and go to that website and show you real quick.
Yeah. Did everyone get a handout for the first hour for the GSAK course?
No.
No? Okay, I'll hand you one. Just raise your hand if you'd like one, and I'll stop recording your name.
So you can see here toward the bottom of the screen, or I'll put it in the middle of the screen, it says it's free to download and use, but after 21 days you get a nag screen. Hence this is called nag alert. Basically telling you to register and don't get cheapskate and all that kind of stuff. However, like I say, the intent is for you to try it, and if you like, if you don't like it, no big deal. To download it, you just hit this link right.
Could you pick up the microphone?
You don't think I'm loud enough as it is?
You are.
Okay. To download it, you just hit this download version 8.10, and you'll see it tells you that's 18.1 megabytes, pretty big download. So I'm not going to actually download it today, but this will give you a file, and you can open it. Oh, I would run Northern Lights there out of the cell phone bill, so we're not going to do that today.
Thank you.
But essentially, this will give you a file. You just execute it, and it'll install it on your computer, and you just follow the bouncing ball. I'm sure you've installed software before. Just take all the defaults, and you'll be fine. I need 5 hands. You could be a good microphone. Sure. I just like to move you around. All right, so the next thing I'm going to talk about real quick is a pocket query. I'm guessing there are a few of you here that don't know what I'm talking about when I say pocket query. If you go to geocaching.com and you want to get a list of caches and you're a premium member, you can generate what they call a pocket query. And that basically is just you go in and specify, I want to start from this particular coordinate. I want a 25-mile radius, and I want up to 1,000 caches, and you can specify a bunch of other stuff, which I will show you in just a second. The idea is that you can basically customize what's sent to you by the screen, and it will come. They generate pretty quickly when you make a new one, so you just have to tell it to send it. It will email it to you, and you'll see later with GSAK, you don't actually have to wait for the email. You can just go and get it directly right into the program. So. Switches here.
I got some parachute cord we can wrap around your neck for
okay. So when you're logged into geocaching.com, if everything is copacetic and you're a premium member, you basically go here to your profile, pocket queries, and click it. It'll come up like this, and you will see I've got a whole bunch of different pocket queries out here that I can run, including this one, which I just created last night. So to create a pocket query, you basically come here at the top and say, create a new pocket query. And we'll call it new query. You check the day you want it to run, or you can leave it unchecked if you just want to, play around with it first. I'll leave it unchecked for now. I'll just say I want all these caches, all types, all containers, but I don't want any micros, so I'll check everything else. Of course, you can't help it with these unknown people, but whether or not you want to include those that you. I'll check. I want caches that I haven't found and that I don't own and are enabled and are not on my ignore list. Check those 4 boxes all the time. If you want to see disabled, that's okay. You can leave that unchecked and you'll get regular and disabled. Yes, ma'am.
Forgive me if this is a slightly unrelated question, but does anybody have a statement or an opinion on the technicality of a micro? Is a micro micro include everything smaller than a certain size nowadays? Or is it still the?
You're right, that's an unrelated question. However, I will answer it quickly to keep going. The answer is that, at least according to the website, it's a 35 millimeter film can or smaller.
Or smaller, so that includes everything that everybody calls a nano now?
Yes. There were rumors floating around that we're going to create a new size, but so far I haven't seen any actual action in that regard.
Okay.
Okay, so
Disagreement there? Okay.
all right, and finally, I'm going to be lazy or adventuresome and say I only want caches where the terrain is 3 or greater. And anybody know the zip code here? 5322. Obviously, you could just put in your regular coordinates as well, but I don't know the coordinates here, and I'm not going to go look them up. So this is the fastest way. So I'm done. I submit the information, and it tells me I'm getting 500 caches. Not a surprise. We can preview the the search, and this is a list of all the caches in this area that I haven't found. I said, okay, that's, yes, sir.
So you're on the geocaching website right now. Do you
Right.
have to have the GSAK thing?
To do this?
To
No.
do that, okay. So it's
In
just straight
fact,
off the
there's
caching
many
website.
different ways. Like, if you just want to get a pocket query, you don't want to use GSAK, you can use, like if you have Garmin, it's called MapSource. Magellan, what is it, MapView, something like that. DeLorme has their own one that you can use these pocket queries and load it from there.
Vantage Point.
What is it called?
Vantage Point from Magellan.
Oh, okay. I think I haven't used a Magellan so long I didn't know that. But in any case, the idea here is, regardless of what program you use, this is kind of the starting point to get yourself a list of caches. So once you have this all done, I'm going to say this is fine, this is what I want. I'm going to edit it one more time. I'll change the name to, I don't know. And I'll check today, Sunday. So now we'll run. Oh. Don't you love it when you do that? Wow. I think I just logged off of. Great. All right. Well, anyway. Yes.
For the making pocket queries on there, you're only limited to make so many per day, right?
Well, you can make as many as you want. You can run them, and unfortunately, I just somehow logged out of my web browser. But you can only run 5 a day.
When you check one of those days, so when you made that, you hit the submit button without checking a day, that means it doesn't count as running one.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, you can run it. It's kind of dumb on their part because you can sit there and run it on the website as much as you want and generate all sorts of different lists, and I'm sure it ties up their servers just as much as if you run it the standard way. However, that's the way it works. Short-term shutdown. Down here, I'll find the one I had before, which is one of these new queries. Who knows which one it was? I don't know. Probably the second one. So I look at this one. This looks like the right one. Yeah. So if I submit this, I can find the submit button. There it is. Submit. Now that will run, but it'll take maybe a minute or two for it to come up. And it will also send me an email, if I have my email turned on, telling me that this pocket query is out there. thought I checked it, but maybe not. We'll check it here. That's also another way to check it. Now it's been turned on. You were correct. Regardless, I'm not going to wait around for this because I already have one out there I can use, so there's no reason to wait for this one to run. So back to GSAK. Normally when you start out, you're going to have a database that looks like this. Okay. Normally it's going to start out looking something like this with no caches in it. Now, there are lots of ways to load pocket queries, but with the new program, this is absolutely the easiest way to do it. You go up here to geocaching.com access, download pocket queries. I'll give you a list. Oops. Logged in the wrong account. Come on.
Yeah.
Allow access. You'll have to do what I just did the first time, which is basically log yourself in. Now, if I do the same thing, download pocket queries. You see I have this pocket query I designed for myself, which says Greenfield Community Center, so I'll just check that one, and hit go. And slowly but surely it'll go out, get the information, and eventually this will all load into the database. You see it puts lots of pretty colors on the screen. This is a good time to go get a cup of coffee. And it gives you a list of everything that was added, including this event. You can see this giant list, which is not really much use to anybody.
Hey Dave.
Yes?
Quick question on the pocket query. So in the old days, we used to have to wait to get that pocket query in the email. Now we don't have to do that anymore, right?
That is correct.
We can just go to the geocaching.com site, like where he was at. This will link directly to there, but it pulls immediately, so there's really no waiting. Is that right, Dave?
That's correct. In fact, I can show you real quick. I will get an email for what I just set up, but also, presumably this what I just did is done now. Let's refresh. Where's my refresh button? Here it is. You see that it's the one I ran last night is in bold, and this one I just ran is also in bold. If I want to download this, I could just go here to Pocket Queries Ready for Download. It's right here at the top. It's weird to work on this with such low resolution. And scroll. And there's all the ones that I've generated over the past week. And if I wanted to download this one, I would just click on this and I'll actually do it. In fact, I'll do this one just for fun. And I want to leave this like it is, open with geocaching.com. Go. And we'll smush that into the same database just for fun. And I picked up a few extra ones because that's a slightly different radius from where I started.
Yeah, I got a question. I've been using GSAK for a while, and actually I was doing the manual download. But the question I have is, when it downloads, it says there's something about a newer format and having to change some setting on the geocache site. Did you know anything about that and what the newer format would do?
You're talking about GPX file format?
No, I'm talking about the pocket query format. When I download it, it says there's a newer format. It says something about going to the geocache website and checking some box or something.
Yeah,